but it's a little after the hour, so let's start our meeting. Approval of the minutes. Everybody looked at the February minutes? Anybody, is there a nomination to approve? A motion?
A motion.
Okay, a second?
I'll second. You motion?
And a second was what, Bonnie?
Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, it's unanimous. President's remarks. President isn't here. Mike, do you want to talk now, or do you want to do it at the end? Mike?
I don't have anything really other than to thank everybody for being there. Hope people are getting their shots. Carol and I both got our second shots, so we're moving. I'll say some more about the plan later.
Okay, good. I don't have anything to add. Rhea, office update?
I don't have a great deal. I've been posting payments forever, which is a good thing. Lots and lots of payments are coming in. One thing I want to mention, I know I've said before that when I did statements this year, rather than just marking the ones that are late with red stamp, I went ahead and created that claims document. Didn't file the claim, but I created the document and stapled it to the statement. And so far, I've collected $5,455 from 8 people who've been in arrears.
Oh, wow.
So that's pretty good, I think.
Do you keep statistics on how many people are in arrears, or what percentage, or anything like that?
I don't keep statistics, no. Actually, what's this mean?
You have an idea. You just-
Yeah, oh, yeah. I think in the audit report, there might be mention of that. But keeping in mind that we have 62 or so properties that will never be collected, although I have to say that one of those on the list I had to remove because the family, the man passed away, or the person, the owner, the family donated it to the land trust, and I believe they paid their back fees on it.
Oh, wow.
So that was a surprise. Yeah. So it was a good decision to not permanently remove those. Remember, we talked a couple of months ago, the accountant had said you could permanently remove them. So that remains a good decision, I think. The other thing, Comcast, as always, increased its rate suddenly. Went up to $271 from $234, I think, a month. So I called, and they gave us a new contract, and we're back down to about what we were before. And the newsletter's about ready. Jenny contributed a nice environmental piece for the front page, and just have one more item to input, and then I'll be printing it and getting it out. Because it should be out 15 days prior to the meeting on the 27th. Should be delivered by then. So, that's it.
All right, good. Committee reports. Okay, Gary, operations, roads, anything?
Yeah, we had some, this ice storm didn't do us any favors, but the fire department came out and cleared roads quickly. So, and then Carl came around and picked up the debris mostly. The rest of the stuff is mock snicks, really not a big deal. Some trees down. A notable one is in Lake Vista. A tree blew over, a root ball came up with a big tree into the lake, and the property owner would, would like us to do something with that, is that right?
Mm-hmm.
And I went and looked at it, and we have trees come down in the lakes all the time, we don't do anything about it. And as a result, first of all, it's not roads, but I went out and looked at it. My advice is, and I think Rhea's working on this, to get the tree lady to come out and look at it for a couple of reasons. One, even though it's blown over, it's in the critical area and you can't do anything with it without permission. And that comes from her. And the
Probably
other would
Monica
be
Eisen you're talking about.
she might give us some, she might say, don't do anything with it because it's going to make it worse, which would justify the position of not doing anything.
Well, this
It would be difficult to do anything about it because it's all out, I mean, literally, the root ball is right here at the water line. So the entire tree is in the water.
How close to the causeway is it? I haven't gone by.
It's not, if you look at the lake, which call it a round lake, and the causeway be at 6 o'clock, this is like at 8:30, 8 o'clock, something, it's away from the causeway, it's on that person's property that's right on the corner as you approach the causeway from Riverview.
The owner would what, like us to drag the tree out of the water and dispose of it?
They didn't really say, they sent an email to let me know that it had gone down. And I said to them just what you said, that it's happened before and we've not done anything, unless there's a danger maybe to the culvert or the road at some point. But I said I would bring it to the board's attention and the roads person and so on, and I would get back to them. I think ultimately they would have liked me, because they checked with their insurance company to see if they could have it removed and have it be paid for. And no, the insurance company said it's ours, and that's
Yeah.
right.
I mean,
If
it's
it
on
falls
our
on your
property.
property, it becomes yours.
That's right.
Lake Festival on us.
So
But-
they're
but-
hoping, I think, that we could remove it
But
somehow.
the root ball is still on their property.
I don't know, where do you
No,
draw the
because
property
if-
line?
I don't
Back to
know.
those
I'm not
deeds,
sure.
go back to those deeds, and we own the strip along all the waterways.
Well, they might own
I
the
mean,
root ball,
so
but
it's
the tree itself
debatable.
is on our property.
It's debatable, I know. I'm just saying that's what the deed says.
Back to that.
I don't know what their plats and surveys.
I believe that Robin and or the state or anybody that comes along is going to say, you don't have to do anything with it. And you could create more problem on the shoreline if you take it out.
Yeah, let's find out what she
Yeah, I'm gonna
says,
contact
and
Robin.
then we'll talk about it again, I guess. Wow.
Yeah, to take that out would not be cheap because of where it is. You'd have to have a boat, I don't know. Heavy equipment to drag it to shore, and then it's on somebody else's property.
Yeah, then
I don't know how you go about it.
cutting up a water-soaked tree.
Yeah.
Kidding me?
It's not good. Well, it's not totally in the water, because the water's shallow enough that the limbs are holding the trunk up off the ground.
All right.
But when you go cutting it up, yeah, I don't even know how I go about it, to tell you the truth.
Yeah,
Well, they
maybe-
kind of hinted at, the whole shoreline being not eroding, but other trees have come down and so on. And I'm not sure if they're saying, what are you going to do about it? Maybe just bringing it to our attention.
Yeah, but when we go back to them with an answer, we gotta have one based in, with some solid stuff
Right.
behind
Yeah,
it.
yeah, I think getting the county's opinion first is probably,
Are these just mature trees? I assume
No,
these
it's a
are
big,
real trees.
yeah.
It was a big tree,
So they do
it was
that.
70 feet
Is
tall.
that-
ooh,
It's obvious it's down, I mean, it's way out into the lake.
It's a tulip poplar.
Oh,
You know, I don't know, I didn't pay attention to the species. It could be.
poplar, garbage tree. No,
Yeah,
instead-
they are.
oh,
They
Yes.
are terrible.
yeah, I guess they are. I thought I would drive by on the way back just to give an idea of what it is. Sir,
Surf is,
waiting for permitting.
yeah, and also they're finished on Lake Terrace, that job is complete and blessed off, and we put some signs, I assume they're done now.
The signs are done, Joe got both of them in.
And there's nothing else of any real.
Well, with regard to Lake Terrace, I'm just waiting for Robin to respond, with money. I sent the request for authorization, and so I haven't gotten the money to pay Carl yet. I could probably pay him
From Rob.
for Robin. Well, it has to be authorized
Yeah,
by
yeah, yeah. It's-
Public
it's
Works,
even-
and then things are a little, still, hit or miss sometimes right now with the county,
Everywhere.
Okay, anything else?
Is that?
Jack, finance.
Had a look at the budget, no surprises. Everything is still doing pretty well in all categories. The big expenditure was snow, ice, another work in that category.
How much did that cost us?
How much did what?
The snow, yeah, the snow. Sanding, the stuff, the salting.
it's approximately 43.
43.
And it's not all posted yet. It'll be on next month's budget, or next month's report. But it is, pretty much as expected. We're going to be close.
What was the budget? The budget was like 46, wasn't it?
Yeah, about that, yeah. Let's see, 46.
All we have to do is hope it doesn't snow again, that's it.
Yeah, well, yeah, fair enough. Yeah, the budget was 49,000. And we've got 36 posted against it, but I saw in one check after that, so we're just about at 49, I think, more or less. But again, as expected, we budgeted for it. So,
Anything else we should be aware of?
we got our income tax. So we showed it to me. I can't remember doing this in years past. Well, and it's also a year overdue.
Oh.
They always put in for an extension.
Yeah.
I'll ask why. I don't know why we're
Yeah.
always,
I've
they
never-
always put in for an extension.
So I've never,
They being the accountant. I just think we're low priority. We're pretty small potatoes, aren't
I mean,
Compared to
we
some
pay
of the-
nothing, so it's just
we? Yeah.
very thick return, nevertheless. But, I tend to like to get them in on time,
Oh, yeah, me too.
or avoid any problems. And apparently there is no problem.
No.
So we'll sign that and send it off to the accountant. That's it.
Do you want to mention the income from carryover? We talked about it.
Oh, this is for Mike?
Yeah.
Rhea, why don't you explain it since you did the work on this one?
Recall Mike last meeting asked why we were operating kind of in the red at the end of the budget. The last line of the budget shows that we were in negative numbers. And it was because we took income and budgeted it from carryover money. But yet, that's not income. It's money we have, but it's not income. So what I did, I emailed our accountant and asked him, could I call it income and include it that way on the budget, just to show a better number at the end. And so I did that just for this purpose, so you can take a look at it. You can see the final number is now positive. But when it's on the profit and loss budget to actual.
Okay, what, on the last page?
Well, you can see the income from carryover is at the top of the first page,
In the wrong place.
107,000.
Good.
And then on the last page, you'll see that we're now in positive territory. So I asked Mark Perry, the accountant at Alton who does our audit, can I do that? And he was like, well, he'd rather I didn't. It's not proper accounting procedure, which I knew it wasn't, but I thought, well, maybe there's a way. We're not showing the STD income properly either. But we went back to that method because doing it the other way confused people. It isn't income, it's a reimbursement.
Yeah.
So I thought, well, since the accountants are allowing us to do that and just making the adjustment for purposes of the audit, maybe they'd allow me to do this. But he'd rather we did not. So with everybody's permission, I'll remove it.
I don't have any problem. Does anybody have any problem with that?
Mike?
No, I don't.
Okay. He suggested that we show it on a spreadsheet when we do the budget, which is exactly what we do. It's on that spreadsheet. So.
I don't think that takes any kind of motion, does it?
No, I just wanted to let everybody know that I had talked to them. I also asked the accountant, well, is there anything else we can do? But it is tax season, so he's not gotten back to me. I said, well, I know this isn't urgent. I know you're really busy. I'll probably have to remind him after the season is over. But anyway, so okay, I just wanted to show everybody we're not in negative territory.
Jack, anything else?
And that's it.
Okay, thank you. Bonnie, environmental.
Nothing. I still really, we're deferring, taking down the dead things until the weather is a little drier.
Safety committee. Maggie?
Thanks.
Not here, not on the phone. And Peter's not here. Does anybody know anything else about safety or Okay, welcoming committee, Rhea.
I've mailed out another 10 letters to people, newcomers, and I think I gave out 1 bucket last week, and I have 5 on hand that are ready to be handed out, and there are supplies to assemble 3 additional buckets. So whenever you're ready to do that. That's it.
Thank you. Mike, do you want to take on the beach now as part of planning committee?
Yeah, I don't have a lot to say, but I will say that Brooke Henninger, who's our neighbor on the north side of the beach, asked if he could contact Scott Hardaway at the consulting firm to discuss options that he might be interested in participating in, which primarily would be part of the structure that's near the property line or on the property line. So they did talk, and I got a call and a note from Hardaway, and they're telling me what they talked about. I guess the bottom gist of it is that Integer isn't interested in participating in it and paying for some portion of it that would impact his property.
Okay.
So we've got to kind of flesh that out. What I'm thinking of doing is putting together some kind of a small presentation to discuss the March general membership meeting, or let people know where we're at, and start to pursue whether or not we want to get approval next budget to go ahead with something like this.
Okay. Sounds good.
Mike, did you say Mr. Edinger is or is not interested?
What's that?
Did you say that Edinger is or is not interested in participating?
He is,
Oh.
but, nothing has been, nobody signed up, not
Sure.
signed yet, so.
He's interested in talking about it.
I'm gonna try to figure out some way to talk to him some more. Might be hard to figure out, get him, meet with the committee, and, discuss what his interests are, and see how we can pursue that.
Good, that's good. Any cooperation is better than none.
Yeah. That's about where it is right now.
Any questions?
Next step, start to follow up with him, then plan on doing some kind of presentation at the March meeting.
Good. Any questions for Mike? No?
I have a comment.
Oh, Gary has a comment.
Has anybody been down to look at the beach?
No, not lately.
It's not there. They come to the end of the asphalt, there's a 2-foot drop
Oh,
Seriously, at 2.
As of when did you look at it?
just this morning.
Oh.
did you hear that, Mike? Mike,
Yes?
did you hear Gary's comment?
No, I didn't.
That at the beach this morning, he was there and looked at it. When you get to the edge of the concrete, or the asphalt, there's a 2-foot drop. There's basically no beach.
Okay. I mean, we've seen that come and go.
Yeah, it's winter time
I've
too.
never seen it go
I've
this
never seen
far.
it so that too big.
Well, there's nothing we can do about it now anyway. We have to wait.
No, the only thing we can do would be to bring in more sand, which
That's
move around anyway.
That's right.
And, I think we just have to live with it until we decide what we're gonna do or get, as far as pursuing something more long-term.
Yeah. Well, we can get together this evening and say the rosary.
Think that'll help, David?
I don't know.
It
Nothing
will
else
work.
seems to work.
I'm a little surprised because the beach behind these houses here, in the last 10 days, has grown 10 or 12 feet. And I thought, we must be in good shape farther down, but
I didn't look at my
There
beach.
was evidence of
Right,
it.
but I didn't notice it was either better or worse.
Yeah, I didn't notice any drastic change.
There's big piles of sand on the asphalt, like it had grown granted, but now there are channels in the piles of sand on the asphalt where the water washed out,
Yeah, the rain.
and the beach is just gone.
Huh. Oh, well. Yeah, that may have been the rain that we've had the last few days. Oh, well, nothing we can do about that now. But it's good to know. Anything else? Any other comments? All right. Unfinished business. The policy and procedures manual. Rhea, you're on.
Yay. Well, I sent out my final to everybody, and Tony was the only one that actually read it, apparently, word for word, dot for comma, parentheses for close, anyway. He brought, which I appreciate. I'm just
I'm a
kidding.
bureaucrat.
I'm just
I was looking
kidding.
for
So he
typos.
brought me, notes. So there's some typos and grammatical, I don't know grammatical so much, but anyway, typos and so on I need to clean up. Nothing, what's that word I'm looking for?
Of import.
Of import. So anyway, I think we're finished, other than that. So do we need a motion to reaffirm it, I would think?
Do people want to read it again? Have you read it? Will you take my word for the typos? And me, I'm not very good at that.
Apparently I'm not either. I just got so sick of reading it. I mean, in my own defense, it's like, oh my God.
Quick check on the spelling.
Well, spelling I think was fine.
Yeah, the spelling was all right.
Two spaces here, one
Yeah,
space
this was
here.
interesting, the beginning of a parentheses with no end.
That kind of thing.
That kind of
Yeah. Anyway.
It's hard to proofread your own stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it is. You're expected to be right, and it just isn't. Anyway,
Does,
so maybe a motion.
yeah, does anybody have any questions about the draft revision as it exists? Before we vote, would anybody have any great heartache about voting without seeing it again? All right, then, I guess we need a motion to accept the new PPM.
I move that we accept the PPA.
Is there a second? All in favor? Any opposed? Done. All right. New business. Is there any new business? I don't think so. Schedule next meeting. When is the next meeting?
March 27th.
March 26th.
That's
That's the general.
Oh, that's the general.
Oh, yeah, March 27th is the general. Yes.
March 27th is the general.
Yeah, but then we need, it would be April 6th. Anybody against that for any reason? And by April 6th, we might actually be able to meet back in the office again, maybe.
Well, you and Michael both had your vaccinations.
I had my first vaccination, I'll be getting my second in the end of March, so.
And some doctor was talking about the rate of vaccinations and the rate of infections, and he was sure that we would have herd immunity by April or
That's
sometime later.
Dr. McCary from Johns Hopkins.
Is that who it is? Some doctor,
Yes.
right? But that's what he was saying.
Yes.
But anyway, well, we could decide the location as we get closer. Jack, are you willing to host us again if we need it?
Yes.
Mike started to say something.
Mike?
Yeah, I was just gonna say that I'd like to try to target going back to, our regular time on the 6th. We tentatively plan that unless we see that things have taken another bad turn or something.
Okay. So we tentatively plan for 7 p.m. on the 6th, back in the office. Unless
Yeah, I mean, does anybody dare have this?
Is-
Mark,
Yeah, does that cause anybody any concern?
No.
No comment. So, okay, so I guess that's what we plan for. April 6th, 7 p.m. in the office, unless we have to change. All right.
Should we close it to, not that anybody ever comes, but just for
Well,
general purposes, close it to only the board itself?
Maybe. because
Like no
we-
public?
Yeah.
We won't be
What?
on this yet.
Yeah, that might
I
be.
mean, I would put that on the website and.
That's
Yeah,
That's probably
yeah,
smart.
that's
Just
way
not-
well before we open it up.
Well,
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, you know,
Because there'll be 9 of us, 10 of us,
10
and
of us.
we'll still be, if other people came in, maybe that's just.
yeah, maybe that'd be a future.
and March 27th is the general membership meeting?
Yes.
See, my calendar says it's Passover. So-
It's also Passover.
It's also, it's,
Well, you gotta have
You
priorities.
students?
You gotta have priorities. What makes the night different from any other night?
There's a board meeting, or a membership.
So that will be at the club, is it?
Yeah, yep. Same applies, you know, masks
Right.
and socially distanced. And I have it on my list to do the ad to the recorder to say that this meeting will be held in accordance with state law regarding quorums. So there'll be a
Yeah.
quorum regardless, because we need to be able to present the slate of candidates, of which we have 6 for 6, as far as I'm aware.
Did we have a forum last time?
No, that's
Okay,
why
so
in December we voted.
Okay, so this will be,
Unless somebody puts themselves forward from the floor, and then we have to have it.
Right, right.
All right, well, we'll see what happens.
The September meeting was a quorum because we had so many absentee ballots.
right.
Anything else? Mike?
No, nothing here.
All right. Well, then I guess the meeting is adjourned. Thank you for